welcome to MogPod Gaming. I am the number one potato boss, bringing you the potato footnotes for my Final Fantasy VII competitive deck, 7 Swift Strikes. After listening to some viewer feedback, this footnote series is a shorthand version of my potato playbook series, where I'll just give a quick overview of the deck and what it is trying to do. I'll leave the deck list up here for anyone that wants to just have a look at the deck. I'll also have a link of the deck in the description down below. I've been piloting this deck for over 2 months now, and I took it to the Australian Nationals where I was able to get 10th place. This is a mid-range fire earth aggro deck, very much focused on the battle tricks, and was built against the water heavy meta that was experienced in both New Zealand and Australia. I would really recommend this deck for people that like playing aggro, but at the same time like having potential answers to all the big threats that are currently in the game. Without further ado, let's get straight into the deck. Let's start with our main man, the Final Fantasy Golden Boy, Cloud. I actually play all 4 of the available Clouds in the game. I play the 2-drop Cloud, so I can combo with the Zac, so there's a potential to get rid of a 9k or higher forward if Zac trades or gets removed otherwise. There's the 3-drop or the 4-drop Cloud that can be put onto the field. The 3-drop Cloud is an extremely good card, making it very difficult for your opponent to block, when all you have to do is tap the Cloud to give him an extra 2k buff. And remember, you can give Cloud or any of your other forwards 2k buff, which combos very well with Selfie and or Belias. The problem with this 3-drop Cloud is that it's called Cloud and doesn't have an S ability, so there is a potential for Clouds to get stuck onto your hand, but this Cloud is a high priority target for your opponent, so more often than not, they will find a way to remove him. The 4-drop Legendary Cloud is a very strong forward with 2 relevant S abilities. I actually play a total of 7 Clouds in this deck, where you're almost guaranteed to pull off an S ability. I only play 1 of the 4-drop Light Cloud, as I do not want light or dark cards to clog up my hand. This 4-drop Light Cloud is actually very good against the semi-popular Water Light matchup. The last Cloud on the list, which is arguably the strongest Cloud on the list in this deck, is the 6-drop Cloud. All the forwards in the deck are category 7 forwards, so he's usually played on the field at 3 or even 2 CP. The 1k power boost that Cloud gives when any of your forwards attack is very relevant, making it that much harder for your opponent to block you. The S ability is also very relevant against many of the forwards, like the legendary Garnet. Next up is Tifa. The first one is a 2-drop, cheap, hasty forward that will get you a few points of damage early. The 5-drop Tifa is here to push your advantage, making it so your opponent can't block. It also has a very good S ability, Falcons Dive, mainly used against decks that like to go wide with cheap forwards like the popular Mono Water deck. The red 13 in this deck is very relevant to push for your advantage by boosting your forwards and to use it as a surprise 10k blocker with Tama. The S ability, Cosmo Memory, is also very good against small aggro decks like the Mumbo D Chocobo deck. The WRO package, it is just a high value package with the WRO member forwards able to become potential 9k brave attackers. The WRO member backup is also able to stop WRO member commander from being broken, which if used correctly is able to save you a few points of damage. While the WRO commander is able to buff WRO member forwards, he himself gets a buff from Vincent. Speaking of Vincent, the 4-drop legendary Vincent is just a great durable forward that can pretty much only die from combat or damaging abilities. He also has a very strong S ability, Death Penalty, which is the reason why I play one of the promos Vincent, just as special fodder for the legendary Vincent. If Vincent is on the field, Yuffie is a free forward. And also, Yuffie gives Vincent 1k power boost and Brave, which makes him that much harder to get rid of. Yuffie is a win card, which makes it difficult when you need to discard her. I found playing 3-2 clunky. Now onto the backups. You've got the Red Mage as a good early game backup that can stop your opponent blocking late game. You got Selfie to power up your forwards, and you've got Vivi for some very good burn. Vivi is a very efficient EX burst that can easily kill small forwards like Yuffie, Rigdia, Larsa. Alternatively, you can also use it to deal the last little bit of damage when the opponent blocks one of your smaller forwards, like the 2-drop Tifa. Now, onto my favorite card, Tama. This is such a versatile card with the ability to play forwards or backups at any time, including on the stack. I usually use it to Tama in a surprise blocker like Zac over at 13, which actually makes them 10k blockers on your opponent's turn. I also use it to Tama in a Shantoto or just play forward at the end of your opponent's turn, which can really surprise them. Next up, you got the Category 7 Searcher, Jessie. You can search for any forward in this deck with Jessie. I usually search for the other half of the Vincent Yuffie combo, or the relevant S ability for a forward I already have on the field. The other Earth backup that we have is Roban. He's able to remove one of your opponent's forwards using the power of your own forward. Just be careful when you play this card, because if your opponent has removal for the forward that you've chosen, then the ability fizzles. I also play 2 of Shantoto, which is just a board wipe that you use when you're behind or when your opponent is very aggressive. Now onto the summons. I play 3 Belies because it is such a versatile and high value card. You're able to give your forwards haste, you're able to win combat by buffing your forwards by 1k in first strike, and to top it all off, you get to draw a card. The main reason why I play this card actually is to stop party attacks. I also play 2 Brynhilder, and the main reason for this is to counter cards like Kuja, Genesis, Cagnozo, which are all problem forwards against this deck. I also run 2 Atomos, mainly put in here as an alternate way to get rid of the legendary Emperor other than Roban, because that card really does pose a great threat to this deck. It stops your red mages, it stops your selfies, and stops your S abilities. Does so much against this deck. Just to conclude, this deck is very strong against slower decks like Mono Water, but can have trouble against Ice or Ice Lightning or Lightning decks, because Ice punishes aggression and Lightning has very efficient removal. Even though this deck struggles against those elements, it has built-in answers for those type of threats. Remember, tricks are this deck's greatest asset. Do not be afraid to attack, make your opponent afraid to block you. Even though this deck has a decent late game, its biggest strength is its early mid game, so you need to use that to your advantage and close out games quick. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you want a more in-depth look at this deck, I got the Potato Playbook for the 7 Swift Strikes already up on our channel, where we talk about specific matchups, in-depth combos, and synergies of the deck. And remember, join us here every Monday and Thursday EST for new videos about the Final Fantasy trading card game. And don't forget, we got bi-weekly podcasts as well, with the first episode already up. Please go check it out. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay, number 1 Potato Boss, out.